Futures really solidly in the green after a down day for the markets yesterday. A lot of volatility. What are you expecting for today?
So what I'm super curious to see is if that green holds, because what I think we're range bound. I've been saying this for 2 years, and I'm pretty sure I know what the top of the range is, which is probably 4,600. But what I don't know and what's driving me nuts is what the bottom of the range is. And I think within that trading range, I think the rallies are sparked by sentiment, and also the declines are sparked by sentiment. So I really want to see where the sentiment goes today, and if we're actually able to hold this.
All right, so
I think we're kind of defining the bottom of the range right now.
Okay, well, speaking of sentiment, what's your sentiment? Give us your WEX word of the day.
Okay, thank you. I love this word of the day. My sentiment is purgatory. And I actually thought when I told you that yesterday, I'm like, I should look up what the actual definition of purgatory is, because I always think of it as being stuck in a really unpleasant state. So actually it's like a super religious actual explanation. But I think we are stuck in my version of purgatory, which is really unpleasant. It's neither a bull market nor a bear market. We don't really know which side we're going to end up on or how long it's going to take to get there. And that's pretty torturous for investors, especially for investors who become really comfortable over the past decade of positive returns and going out to their clients on a quarterly and annual basis saying like, oh, how great, you know, we're up 30%, we're up 10%, we're up 5%. It was a bad year, but don't worry, we rallied right back. So this is a really, really unpleasant, kind of difficult time for professional investors and individuals alike. We're stuck.
All right, so speaking of professional investors, Jenny, I want to get your take on the latest Delivering Alpha investor survey, of course, ahead of tomorrow's DA Summit right here in New York City. If you want to go, you can scan the QR code on your screen. There is still time to register. You can also watch it online. So here's the question. We're asking leading institutional investors, top strategists, and our own CNBC contributors like you, which area will you be concentrating on to start the fourth quarter? So take a look at the data. 36% saying mega cap tech stocks, 32% saying energy stocks, and coming in a very distant third, that's healthcare. What is your take?
Well, I think it's interesting the way the question's phrased, because area of concentration. So obviously, I'm in the high dividend space because I run a high dividend income strategy with a 5% or better dividend yield hurdle. So I'm stuck there. But it's interesting because when you say, where are you concentrating? Because of capital gains, a lot of investors are kind of stuck in that mega cap space, and they can't get out of it without incurring huge tax bills for their clients. So I think that's maybe a little more backward looking for investors than it is forward looking. I don't think people are pulling money out and piling it into high tech right now.
All right, we also have to come to you because you always have a pick for us. What's your pick for today? Where would you put money to work today?
Okay, so here's where we're finding opportunity. We're finding opportunity in the fallen 2020 bubble stocks. So we actually, for our disciplined growth strategy, not the dividend income strategy, we added DocuSign last week, and this is wild. When you look at DocuSign here and now today, like, yeah, it's down 90% from its highs, but it never should have reached those highs anyway. But what you have today is you have a company trading at 15 times earnings with 7% free cash flow yield. They've got 1 billion users, and we all know what they do, right? They do the electronic signatures. It's a booming market. Like, I'm probably never going to sign physical papers at the rate I used to. Again, probably nobody is. And if you look at companies like Fidelity and Schwab, they're pushing every single thing to be signed electronically. They think it's safer. So they've got 1 billion users, 1.4 million paying customers. The operating margins are 25%. We think there's huge room for margin expansion. It's a company that's going to be with us forever, and they're doing it better than anyone else. So it's kind of neat to sift through the rubble of the 2020 fallen bubble stocks and find some golden opportunities.
I mean, it's hard to dispute the fact this is going to be a long-term business. We're going to probably all soon sign everything electronically, but looking at the stocks, still down more than 20% year to date. So what's going to be the catalyst for this turnaround?
Oh, I think just like a bunch of quarterly earnings for the next, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 quarters where they start to deliver really strong earnings, and investors look at it based on today and what's going forward. You know me, I hate buying a stock at the high point, so buying it back in 2022, right. I never would have done that. This is where I always like to buy low, sell high. So when I see a stock low like this is where I get pretty excited.